Hey, what's up, everybody? This is ColeMize with ColeMizeStudios.com, bringing you another segment of Be a Better Rapper Now. Today, we're going to be talking about ad-libs. What are ad-libs, you may be asking? Ad-libs is actually a short word for ad libitum, which means to do as you please. As that transfers over into the music world, it pretty much means to say something without preparation. So it's kind of off the cuff type of thing, much like improv or improvisation. So to actors, you have improv. To rappers, you have freestyle. Okay. And ad-libs is a little bit different than freestyle because even though it is not a pre-prepared thing, it's off the top, off the dome type of thing, it's not necessarily a full thought. Ad-libs are more like adding phrases or sayings or things of that nature to a recording. So what I see is with rappers who are just starting out, this is not something that they're aware of. They don't know anything about ad-libs, and oftentimes they don't even hear the word until they're actually into that studio recording that first song, and the engineer looks over to them and they're like, hey, do you want to record any ad-libs? And they're like, what are ad-libs? Okay, and trust me, I know I've been that engineer speaking to the artist and got that puzzled face and had to explain to him what it was. So ad-libs is, think of it like this. Ad-libs is kind of like adding spices to a meal. Okay, it's not the full course meal. It's not the meat and the potatoes. Okay, the meat and the potatoes of your recordings are your main vocals. Think of ad-libs as kind of like spices to kind of spice things up, add more flavor, as much or as subtle as needed, or may possibly not needed at all. And that's a big point I need to make, because sometimes when artists get in the studio, they're just excited to be recording, and they want to record as many tracks as possible. But one thing you need to remember is this, that everything you record needs to be for a purpose, not just for the sake of saying I did that. Okay, it needs to add value to the track, not take away. The main vocal is the star. So if you're going to add ad-libs or anything like that, you want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that's complementing the track. Okay, so for an example, if it's a crunk track, you might have, like, you know, some Little John type stuff. You know, Little John is famous for his ad-libs. The what? Yeah! You know, that type of stuff. And then, but, you know, that may not be suitable if you're doing like a mellow track, right? Or a more intimate, serious track. If you're going to do ad-libs, it may need to be a little bit more subtle. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes, or a lot of times, you don't need any ad-libs at all. A lot of artists don't even use ad-libs. So the main important thing to remember is this. You're the artist. It's your music. Okay? There's no right or wrong way to do this. Do what's right for the track. Okay? That's what's most important. Don't do ad-libs just for the fact that you think that you're supposed to do ad-libs. You don't. There's a lot of artists out there who only have main vocal tracks, and that's it. A lot of artists don't do stacks, spot stacks, nothing. Sometimes it's just the main vocal, period. You know, and another thing to remember is this too. When you're working with mixing and things like that, and I don't want to get too technical in mixing, but coming from an engineer, I can speak on this. It's a fight for space. Okay, so you have your main vocal. Once you record again, on top of that or underneath it or whatever, now whatever you're recording is going to be competing with that main vocal. So if you record too many tracks, it may not sound as clear, it may not sound as big, okay? If not mixed properly or if not selected properly. So if you're going to do ad-libs, try to do ad-libs possibly in between when the main vocal is going. So like maybe in between words of the main vocal, when there's that slight bit of moment where there's no main vocal, that's a good place for an ad-lib, okay? Or if it's on top of the main vocal, make sure it's doing something that's complementing it, not necessarily saying the same word that's already being said on the main vocal, because then you're going to get masking and it's going to be fighting each other and competing with each other and blending with each other. Think about also doing ad-libs in different pitches, different tones, different emotions. Things like that would allow it to pop off and be more separate than that main vocal and more easily distinguished in the track. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you about ad-libs. But let me give you a real life example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull up a track that I've already recorded a while back It's called Gotta Live to See, featuring my homeboy Marc Griffin. And I'm going to just go through and record some ad-libs. Now, this is a track, you know, initially I didn't record any ad-libs for. It's a mellow track, an intimate track. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do some ad-libs just so you can kind of see a real life representation of what I'm talking about. So just a moment, we'll be right back.
All right, here we go. I see the tears in your eyes from being picked on. You're the target of every joke, you're the verse in the song. You can't get along with no one and you feel so alone. You condone suicide, you think about it at home. You're contemplating death to predict that they'll know that you gone. Would they cry if you died? Would they feel that it's wrong? The questions go on, the thought of death exceeds to prolong. You got so much pain on your chest, but you're only so strong. Come on. All you need is a person to spot you, a person to say they got you. It's called love and it's impossible to live without. It's like we're air is to all of us breathing, we need it. And if we ain't got it, we gon' retrieve it. Believe me, God's got a plan for you, but it's all on you to pull through and block out what these folks are saying to you. Through all the pain that's rained on you continuously, it's bound to be a blue sky with a nice breeze, but you gotta live to see.
There you go. That's ad-libs, okay? Nothing too spectacular. You know, if I was recording this for a song or whatever, I would still go back and edit certain things out and things of that nature. But that gives you an idea of what it is, you know, in the recording process of doing ad-libs. Trying to keep it subtle, not trying to go crazy with it, just trying to add little things here and there to spice things up or whatever, add a little bit more flavor, that type of thing. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, drop your 2 cents in the comment section below. This is ColeMize with ColeMizeStudios.com with another segment of Be a Better Rapper Now. Until next time, y'all take care. Peace.